Hello.
Hi there. I've returned from the PQ.
Hello there.
Nathan has stories to
Yeah.
tell. Thank
Oh.
you, Norum. What's up?
I did manage to top 8.
Yay.
Please clap.
Please clap.
And I've got a lot of now it's specific to this PQ, but I feel like I have a lot of information on like the way the meta feels right now, if that makes sense. So I'll give you like a little bit of recap of the day, and then I'll talk about the venue also, and then I'll talk about my perception of the meta as it stands. First off, I think the venue's worth shouting out. Xenergy Games. Unbeknownst to me, this store is a chain of sorts. Apparently there are 2 owners. They are fairly have a fairly tight-knit community, and I would say well loved by their community, which I think was kind of like, I can understand why people feel that way based off of the way the PQ was run. It actually appears that they lost money on the PQ.
Yeah.
I will say I did meet people who were like, enjoy watching your stuff. So I don't remember everybody's names. That is usually what happens at one of these events. If I met one person who was like, I love your stuff, and I'd be like, cool, I can remember your name. But when I meet like 6 or 7 or something like that, it's just sands through the hourglass at that point. But the TO, the head judge, there were 3 judges, which I think is a pretty good staff for an event. The store itself was well staffed. The store had
I like to hear that. Yeah, that's good.
The store had like 8 people at the start of the day or something like that. It was a $30 entry fee to the tournament, which is, I would say, kind of the going rate these days.
Yeah.
It used to be you could expect to pay $15, $20 to enter a tournament. I get it. Inflation is that way. So
sometimes though, like PQ type events would be like higher, like $40 to $50.
Yeah, those
right?
larger event prices. So I think honestly, $30 is pretty cheap compared. Xenergy had never run a PQ before, and so they felt like they wanted to put on a show, which is why I think they lost money. I just, as somebody who works in a game store, I can just imagine me trying to pitch this to my store owner, my boss, just be like, here's my proposal. The store loses $400.
We flushed $400 in the
Yeah, well, it's not flushing because the amount of goodwill that it engendered is something, right? So
you're paying for that.
You're investing in goodwill, and so from what I hear, like I said, like everybody that was in the store, like all of the locals, love the store and love the owners. So apparently they're very approachable and likable and stuff like that, which is cool. So it's a chain store. The one we went to was in Goose Creek, which is just outside of Charleston. I think a lot of people just kind of lump it into Charleston when we're talking about Charleston, South Carolina. It's kind of easier.
It's decidedly not Charleston.
Yeah. So we got there fairly early. It was about a 3-hour drive from where we are in the state. And bought stuff at the store, so glad that helped. One of the guys bought a carbonite box. Yeah, I could see I'll get to the event, I guess. So I get there. I prepaid online like last week sometime, and they have a printout of everybody who's prepaid. I walk up, I tell them my name, I'm checked off. They're like, make sure to go over there. I head over there. They give me a raffle ticket, and I believe they raffled off probably $1,000 worth of stuff during the day.
Okay, cool.
And like, we're having a raffle, and I like kind of look at the counter, and I'm like, okay, it's like binders and stuff like that. Not anything that I think is like not worthy of owning. And if you're just giving the stuff away during a tournament, that's cool. And you got door prizes. I think the youngest player there was probably like 13 or 14 or something like that, and like he won one of the raffles, and that's cool. I don't think he did terrible during the day. I don't actually. He was on, and I respect him. He was on Kylo to Tarkin Town.
Yeah. Okay.
So he knows what he's about, and it's about attacking.
Hell yeah.
But he won one of the raffles. I look at the first thing they raffle off is a full box of Jump to Lightspeed.
Okay.
Which that's respectable,
yeah.
right? Like if you just handed me a box of Lightspeed and said this is yours, I would probably crack it just to try to hit some specific stuff.
Hit a showcase or whatever.
Hit a showcase. There's like some legends I could probably use some extra copies of, stuff like that. And then they did like Jump to Lightspeed box binder. They did a raffle after every round, and after every round, at least one of those had a box. The second round was a Carbonite Legends of the Force box.
Holy shit!
And I was like, when they like raffled that off, I was like, this store is losing money on this deal. Hold up, wait, what are you doing? Don't like make money on this. Like, so
your store manager inner sense.
My store manager inner sense is like, what are you doing? But no, I'd like if. And the thing is from what I heard from the TO, because he came into our Discord and started talking about it, because he's run some events there and stuff like that. He was tight with them, and they're like apparently the store does so well just during the normal course of events, because it's like near a Navy base. Apparently, like fresh recruits go to the store. And they've got like their sign-on bonuses, and they're just
I need Pokemon cards right
they're
now.
Just dropping it. They're like, I've always wanted this Rayquaza or whatever, right? God. Like, and so I mean, there was like some pretty sick sealed Pokemon stuff there. And so if you're like a Pokemon collector, there was some good stuff there. They had some old Magic stuff. They had like a sealed box of Tempest. It was cool stuff. And also I did not know, but apparently the same owners in the same shopping center had a second store, but what they did is they put all the card stuff in one store with like the board games and RPG stuff, and then they took all of their miniature stuff and put it in the second location, and it technically has a different name. Now this is where you're gonna accuse me of just making stuff up for clout, for internet points, because the owners apparently also breed geckos, and they have in that same shopping center a lizard supply store.
A third store?
Yes.
Okay.
However, the lizard supply in a stroke of genius, they call the store Lizards of the Coast.
That's perfect in every way.
Yeah.
It's in near Charleston.
Yeah. So that store is just adjoining to the miniature store.
Mm-hmm.
So you walk in to play like Warhammer, and you look over, and there's just like terrariums. And I put some pictures. They had like the giant African millipedes. They had those in a terrarium. They had like blue beetles in a terrarium. They had a bunch of geckos, obviously, and each of them had like their little like cubby holes that they lived in, and all their names were on it and stuff like that. And I maybe she was one of the owners or whatever it was, but there was a lady who was explaining the store, and it had like just like a gecko crawling around in her hand while she was like showing it to like one of the customers or something like that. And so I'm like looking at Blood Bowl stuff, because I just, if they've got dice or something like that, those are always worth picking up because the resale value on the dice is kind of insane. And they had like some old team boxes there from like the 2016 edition. So I was like looking at that stuff, and you're just like looking over, and you're like looking at lizards and bugs and stuff, and it was surreal. I was like, you couldn't have. I can just imagine the Shark Tank going on there. It's like, yes, I want to sell miniatures and lizards, and they're like, you want to sell lizard men, aka the Seraphon, aka, and they're like, no, lizards,
actual real lizards.
Actual real lizards. So that was wild. As soon as I showed up and I got the raffle ticket, they also gave me a meal and a drink voucher. And there was they didn't have a food truck, but I could tell that they were like a food truck operation, because they had a mobile packaged kit, a limited menu of like 5 food things, 5 drink options that are just combinations of each other and stuff like that. and they were like a pancake thing. So they would cook like mini pancakes and then give it like various toppings and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, these, and it's like the stuff was like $5 each or whatever. So I go out there. I got the tickets. And we arrived like super early because we didn't know what traffic was going to be. So we get there super early, and I just like walk up and I'm like, I guess I'll take the Oreo pancake thing, and then I guess I'll take this Dr. Pepper mixed with like a whole bunch of other stuff drink. And they're like, yep, here you go. And then they just handed it over to me, and I was like, this came with my $30 entry fee. And then at lunch, they stopped for lunch. There's this Chinese food restaurant in the same plaza that apparently they've done a lot of business with. The Chinese food restaurant brought over catered trays of stuff. I have a picture of that in the Discord. And they just set up in like their D&D room or whatever. They just set up like a Chinese food buffet. And they're like,
what the? And
they were like, just come, like, if you were playing in the tournament, help yourself. And so I like walk in there, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'll take some orange chicken and some fried rice and some dumplings and some beef and broccoli. And I was just like, I walk out with the food, and nobody's like stopping me. So I'm just like, okay, I accept this as a tacit approval of my actions. So I'm just gonna go over here and eat this. And I was, because the guys that I wrote down with, we were just like, what is happening here? Like,
you've gotten like $150 worth of value out of your ticket already.
Right. So yeah, so that was like blowing my mind. So if you have the opportunity to go to Xynergy Games in Goose Creek, I highly recommend it. The location is a fairly solid. I would say it's an above average cut for a game store. I have extremely high standards for game stores, but that's because I work in a game store and we have extremely high standards for ourselves. So they seem above board. The fact that they lost money on an event just to impress people says something about them.
I mean, you're giving them a ringing endorsement right now, so that's kind of worth the price.
Yeah, right. So and then I actually played a card game on top of all that, right? Like if round one I played Anakin Blue, the red Anakin Blue. I won that match 2-1. I'll say I was struggling over my sideboard choices. I played Boba Data Vault, for the record. I think I've stated for a few weeks that if I went to a PQ in the dark, based off of what I've played off a stream, I would play Boba Data Vault. And so I stuck to my word. The list is the list I played in the previous video. That did not change. I would change the main deck in a couple of ways, for sure. And then I would adapt my sideboard in a couple of ways, based off of the information, but I guess I'll get to that at the end of the recap. My sideboard strategy, I opted to go 3 Reinforcement Walker because the matchups where it's like an end game grind, I found Reinforcement Walker to be the most important unit, even above Devastator, even above Crate Dragon.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The big thing is that since the Boba Data Vault deck has the ability to ramp, you can often ramp into the Reinforcement Walker, and so it's out doing a bunch of stuff for several turns. When I played the game 2 against this Anakin deck, he like destroyed my hand. I top deck a Reinforcement Walker. My hand is like just replenished after that. He uses the Anakin unit to attack into the Reinforcement Walker, and then on the next turn attack into the Reinforcement Walker again with Anakin. And I had gotten the value for playing it. I had gotten a value for attacking, and so like I salvage back the Reinforcement Walker. and he fills the dragon but I am like so far ahead on cards at that point that I just close out the game. And so my sideboard plan was I think I was right where I needed to be. Now I took 2 aggrieved parliamentarians in the sideboard as well, just because
I think that's reasonable.
It's kind of scary.
You didn't play against any.
I didn't play against
Kylos.
the Kylo 5 Tarkin Town, but I did sideboard it in that matchup because I was playing against Anakin, and he was playing main deck Power of the Dark Sides, in addition to all the hero stuff, and so I was.
Blanket.
He did like 2-for-1 me in the first game because he like powered like I play a Dornian, he powers me, it's dead. I next turn I like play 2 things and he like Anakins and kills 2 things or something like that, and I was like, oh, that sucked. But so
I've seen people running a restock as like
so you can
graveyard
restock the one of villainy card or restock the stuff, and so I don't hate that. So my sideboard was 10 units. Okay, because in the testing that I've done. I found that it is more important to be presenting a threat to the opponent. And if they're playing reactive with their removal, and I found myself in this position post-sideboard quite often, where I was just unit, and then I was like, after sideboard, I think my win rate on the day was like 75% or something like that. I had 1 loss to CAD post sideboard, and then I had 1 loss to Quinlan Tarkin Town in 1 matchup, and then I had 2 more losses to Quinlan Tarkin Town, because I think the Quinlan Tarkin Town matchup is not a good matchup
for Boba.
Yeah, it's not unwinnable, but you are basically always an action short. It's one of those, I wish I had played that matchup because I probably would have skewed my deck just a little bit more. Now, we were talking about First Order Stormtrooper in the last time. First Order Stormtrooper, I think, is bad versus CAD Tarkin Town because they just kill it for free. But it is good versus Quinlan Tarkin Town because it's a 1-drop. And if they give you the initiative, you can just play it.
Yeah.
Now, they do play, some of those Quinlan decks do play the speeder, the 2/3 speeder. And so that would kill it. But the I could get like real under the hood into like just the first couple of turns of the matchup. I think the CAD player was not prepared for me to know what he's going to try to do. Okay, so the CAD player gave me the initiative in 1 game, and I was just like, pass. And he played something, then I played something, right? And then on the next turn, I played like a super laser tech. He attacks, I play a super laser tech, and so he's like, I guess I'll play my thing in CAD you. I'm like, kill my super laser tech, right? And then in game 2, I had won, so he gave me the initiative. Or game 3, I won. Or so game 2, he won. He like bazined me to pieces. He just like tore my hand apart, and I drew like the top end. I didn't draw the top end to like take over the game. The CAD deck was playing Relentless Pursuits main, and so while the deck that I have has answers against shields, he played 2, and so he had 2 shields on CAD, and I was like, I have to sink 2 things into this to get rid of the shields. And that was game 1. He captured a Ruthless Raider and shielded. And then he captured like a Dornian or something and shielded. Now, this is where it gets sick. I top deck a Devastator and killed the CAD because he had some damage on it. He assigned some shields. He assigned some damage, some of the indirect damage to CAD, so he was like 4 away from dying. And I'm like, Devastator, assign the damage through the shields, kill CAD, get back my Ruthless Raider, get back a Dornian gunship. My opponent was like, that's bad.
That's pretty bad.
So anyway, so I lost like 1 post game board, but like a lot of my rounds were like lose game 1, sideboard, make the adjustments like during play because I had like seen their deck and stuff like that, and then like win games 2 and 3, clutch up, and take the round. I won the first round versus Anakin Blue. The second round was versus Han Tarkentown, the pilot Han Tarkentown. Was glad I had reps against the deck. So game one, game one was just the whole board is covered in shit, and I'm like, I had a not great draw, and I'm like trying to make it work, but I'm like, all right, let's move on to the next game. And then games 2 and 3. Game 2 was like an utter beating on my part because I had like the initiative, and I think I played Pride. And that Han deck does not want to see that Pride because Pride is just
it's
like
never taking initiative. Yeah, it's not. It can't deal with the Pride well, and it's never going to take initiative. So, yeah.
Or if you do deal with the Pride, you like have to tap out and do it.
It's like a turn.
Yeah.
And waylay it or something.
And like the thing is that Han deck is like, if the Han deck has like one thing on board, when Han goes to deploy, you've probably lost.
Yeah.
And I think that game he played Han to the ground arena. And I was like, I am not scared of 3 damage from that Han.
Yeah.
Like
take that all day.
I will tank that for as long as I can. It does not matter. And that was another one where I sideboarded it. The spice in my sideboard were 3 War Juggernauts. Now, and the reason I put 3 War Juggernauts in the board was actually because of this stupid Akbar deck that Justin played on stream the other day. Because he had infinite dudes on the table. The War Juggernaut was pretty solid. I'm not going to say it was outstanding, but what it ended up doing in a lot of matches was I'm getting incremental damage out, and a lot of people would like redline their guys. They'd get them down. But when you combine the IG 2000 and the Boba Fett leader deploy and the War Juggernaut, you can actually clean up like a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of times when I play War Juggernaut, it would like take a shield off of something, damage something else. And it was like ready to threaten leaders, and you could deploy Boba Fett into it as a pilot. And I never did, but you've got that option should you choose to use it. But it would ping off a bunch of stuff, and then it had like a 7 toughness. Because the thing was, I played like 2 Quinlan Tarkentowns and a Cad Tarkentown. So there were just like pings getting thrown out all over the place.
There's not really a unit in those decks that matches up well against that anyway.
Yeah,
straight up.
Right. So a card that I thought was like useless, and like if I had to like play a PQ tomorrow and I had to change the data vault list, I would get rid of the droid missile platform, which sounds like blasphemy probably to a lot of people here. However, against Quinlan and Cad and that Han deck, like playing against the Han deck, you play a 4/2 for 3. They crash like a crack shot into it, and then they still play 2 more dudes, and they just put all the indirect damage on their base. Like they don't like they're dumping all the damage in the base, right? So the droid missile platform really underperformed. Now, I didn't play any control decks, like any hard control decks. That was not a hard control room. I'll tell you that.
I mean,
much.
I feel like the meta is not super. I mean, you have like Iden,
the problem is, I think the decks right now are like mid range and tempo oriented.
Yeah,
and they've all got tools for control.
Right.
And there was a guy who introduced himself. He's like, "Hey, I'm normally a hard control player. My friend convinced me to play Yoda Red for this tournament. I wish I had played more than like 5 total games with it." And I was like, I can see that. I feel like you got to play like 20.
You got to play a lot.
Because you got to know the sequencing. You got to know when you need to stall or when you need to grab initiative and stuff like that. But like that dude was saying, he was like, he's played Iden forever, but the format has forced him to change. Decent amount of Boba. Yeah, so Boba, he did not want the Boba Iden match. So the thing is that Boba deck against control decks blanks your removal, right? The Dornian, the Ruthless Raider, Maul doesn't matter, right? Like they can fell the dragon Maul, but he's already done his damage. You can just deploy the Boba leader. The deck's got donks, and the droid missile platform is top notch in that matchup because the Iden kills it, and then the droid missile platform does a bunch of damage to them, right?
Maybe it's more like a sideboard then.
It might be a sideboard call. Like you might sideboard it in, but I could be convinced to cut it from the deck in favor of stuff that is better in the format, because a card that was insane and my opponents were never prepared for, and every time I played it, they were like, it ate like something plus a Tarkin Town. That was Knight of Ren. Every single person I played Knight of Ren against was like, that's a crazy sideboard. And I was like, that's main deck.
The sauce. The secret sauce.
And I wish I was playing 3.
Oh, you were playing 2?
I was playing 2, right? Because I cut the Marins. Marin might have been okay, but the Daring Raid underperformed. And I've seen some lists that cut Daring Raid. There's a lot of like, if you're trying to like tilt your matchups and favor stuff. So like the particular version that I had was just a little shy of being able to beat Quinlan Tarkentown. And I put in my sideboard 2 of Salacious Crumb. And I could be convinced to put 3 of Salacious Crumb in the main deck. Because Salacious Crumb actually
cleaning
has
up ground stuff.
It has
gaining you life.
It soaks damage versus the Boba Fett decks.
You can discard the Force Throw.
And you can put it in your hand when you are scared of Force Throw.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. The match I won against Quinlan Tarkentown, I think I 2-0'd it. I think I won game 1 and then won the sideboard game maybe. The match I won against Quinlan Tarkentown, I think that may have gone to 3. The match I won, he like hit me with like an Ahsoka or something, so I was like down to like just very few cards, and I was at the Dornian Ruthless Raider part of the curve. I had Salacious Crumb on the ground. I bounced the Salacious Crumb. Salacious Crumb's in my hand as Force Throw protection. I replay the Salacious Crumb, and I gain the life. And the thing about this Quinlan decks is like, with the exception of 1 game, I died to exact damage.
Wow.
Like, those Quinlan decks can count to 33. I'm not convinced they can count to 34. I'm not convinced they can count to 35. And if you get any more life than that, I think you're probably safe. It works so like when you bounce Crumb, you get to trigger the Boba Fett. And Salacious Crumb is good with like your Super Laser Tech, right? So if you play Salacious Crumb and play Super Laser Tech, on the next turn you can Salacious Crumb, ping the Super Laser Tech, and untaps. You can play the Salacious Crumb again.
Oh yeah, that's insane.
So and nobody was prepared. So there were 9 or 10 Boba Fett data vaults in the room, and I was the only one that made the top cut.
Wow.
Now, so I had some rogue decisions on deck building, because I cut resupplies. A lot of decks play resupply.
You want to be forward momentuming.
I want a dude.
Yeah.
I want my opponent to have to do something about the thing that I just played. Right? That's what I want for the most part. And so, like, there were a lot of times where I had a Super Laser Tech on board, and it would get me the 2 extra damage on something. Like, and like Super Laser Tech, people, I would do damage, and they'd like put it on units, and they'd keep it like 2 away, and then I have like a Super Laser Tech that I could trade in, kill it, and stuff like that, right? And nobody was prepared for Boba Fetting yourself with a Super Laser on play to get. There was one, I think, one of the games I played, my opponent had an Adi Gallia and an some sort of like a Cassian or something like that on the table. And I had Super Laser Tech. This is 4 resources. I tap 3. I kill the Adi Gallia with an open fire. I Boba Fett myself, kill the Super Laser Tech, force choke the Cassian. I've just taken 9 health off the board on 5 resources. Next turn, it was like Ruthless Raider, deploy Boba Fett into it. Because those decks typically don't have Rivals Fall main, stuff like that. So, I do believe that like my knowledge of like the meta decks, and the way they're playing and what they're trying to do helped a ton.
Just the wide amount of reps we get against different decks.
Right. Yeah. For sure. Exactly. Right. That's the thing, is any damage, and so that was the justification for War Juggernaut, right? My opponent has a bunch of stuff in play. I get the War Juggernaut is 1 damage for every unit they have, plus the Boba Fett activation, and then I can deploy Boba Fett as a pilot into it and clean up a bunch of stuff if I need to. I think against the 25 health bases, if I played Boba Fett into the ground arena, I played scared of Bamboozled main deck and the against the Quinlan decks all day, and then the match that I didn't play scared, I beat the dog shit out of my opponent because I put Boba Fett on a ship. They just don't have it main. They might have like 2 of Fang Fighters or something like that. They just don't have it main because the main is so tight. And so if you put Boba Fett in a Dornian and swing for 8, and then swing for 8 on the next turn, you probably won the game.
Yeah.
I think the match comes down to if you get blown out by force throw, because the matches I lost against Quinlan were because they're like force throw that costs. I got hit with 2. The game my Giga lost was my opponent hit me with 2 force throws. The first one I pitched something that had like 3 toughness on it. The next one I had to pitch a 6 drop. My hand was empty.
Well,
he dumped 6 into Fett Leader, killed him with something else, and I was like, that's not good. And then he had double gun to finish the game off, like right as, because I'd like answered like a sufficient amount of stuff. It was like on the verge, and then I get killed with Xaxes with the second gun from the resource row. I would consider Scanning Crew, honestly, in the sideboard for the Quinlan matchup, because they get damage from Cassian and the gun, and if you can just hit those on like turn 4, I genuinely believe that like if you seize initiative when they've got like 4 resources and you Scanning Crew and you hit 3 of them and you blow up 2 of them, you probably win the game. So like I'm convinced to play Scanning Crew. A lot of decks play Cassian. He's very popular, and the gun is very popular.
It's like any red yellow hero, you just slam it in there.
Yeah,
basically, it's like easy.
I could be convinced to play
and there's
2.
like Lando running around, maybe 2. Other stuff.
I could be convinced to play 2 of Scanning Crew main. So like the Boba Fett ability is nice, but I think if you skew your units towards just activating the Boba Fett ability more so than playing stuff that is good in the meta, then I think you can't be surprised if you end up like 3-3 or 4-2 in the day. I think you kind of have to adjust to the meta. That's what I would do. If I were to make changes to the deck, I would probably try to find a way to get First Order Stormtrooper and Salacious Crumb in the deck, and then which is probably cutting like Daring Raid and the Droid Missile Platform, and then.
And those both activate Boba just fine. So
yes, they do, right? In different ways.
Yeah.
And so the cards that are bad in the Quinlan Tarkin Town match, at this point I feel like I could make like an hour and 45-minute video just talking about Quinlan Tarkin Town Boba Fett Data Vault matchups. Right, I think Quinlan has less room to maneuver in the main deck because it has a very specific combination of cards that's just very good in most board states. And the Boba Data Vault deck, because we're playing Data Vault, we actually have a bunch of room in our deck that we need to fill more so, because like if I were to just script my games, it would be I've got initiative, I play Pride, I play Super Laser Tech, I kill my Super Laser Tech so that I can Dornian, so that I can Ruthless Raider, so that I can Maul, so that I can Devastator, right? Like I would just play that curve every single game if I could. But that's not what you have. And I do think the 33 health from Data Vault kept me alive in a couple of games. I would have lost otherwise. Because my opponent would look at my life total, they would see they don't have lethal, and then they'd look at my units, and I would say, I think I won, right? Because now they're fighting my stuff, and they're not putting the pressure on me. And so that was like the case for much of the day. And so, all right, that was rambling. I careened from one thing to another, but had a lot of fun. PQ was a blast. Highly recommend it. And I think we're ready to play some of this stuff now.
Okay. I got the Vonreg yellow from Nathan's PQ. Got second place. Right?
So this is credit where credit's due. This is username Crispy, but spelled like Chris as in the name Chris PY, and he is a part of the Bothan network. And so I had to go to the Bothan network homepage, which I'm grateful that they have one, because I think the Bothan network has like 400 members. I don't know. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but they have there's a whole lot of people in that team. So there's still a future for a Rebels deck with Leia or another leader. Can that exist in this format? I am not sure. So there are Sabine decks that run around that play the Rebel package of stuff, but the Sabine decks have moved to Data Vault. There have been a couple of Sabine. I saw at least one Sabine ECL, so that stuff still works. I do think you can get too cutesy with your deck, and then just Sabine checks you and loses. One of the guys that I wrote down with was playing Palpatine Yellow, and he played Sabine in the last round. He was trying to play to win the get right game because he was at 3-2. Then he lost to Sabine. He's like, I feel like there's always a Sabine in the room to get me. And I think there was one. I think there was a single Sabine. I guess I'll take initiative. Okay. Now this Vonreg deck is from the Bothan network. The guy who's playing it, his name was Crispy. He was very close to winning this tournament. He won game 1. Unfortunately, the Quinlan deck was prepared in the sideboard, and the game 2, Vonreg is in like a phantom, and it gets hit with a bamboozle immediately. And I was like, it's probably game.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Favorite, one of my teammates got top 8 with Gar Yellow, lost to Frank from Bothan Network, who won it all. Okay, yeah. The Bothan Network must have spies everywhere. Except for Luke Datavault. Probably a better home for that red-green hero package than Leia. Yes, probably. I think the Luke pilot is a really good leader. I think he's a really good leader.
There's plenty of Rebel ships. And then you can play like some good Rebel ground stuff, and he's just fine. Like even if you do deploy Luke underground, he's a 5/6, right? Isn't he insane?
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy for a body. Even if you can't get him in a tie or in a fighter.
All right, I'm going to resource this Luke. It's literally not going to do anything in this matchup. I think this matchup is just like a straight up rush. So I do think this Vonreg deck is engineered to beat anybody who's trying to race you on the ground.
Okay.
So Crispy had a second outmaneuver in G2. He had a chance. Yeah, maybe. He did have a wicked outmaneuver that stopped like, I don't know, it was stopping like, it was like Plo and Quinlan.
I assume like
and an Ahsoka.
Your 5th turn, you want to be like outmaneuvering their ground and then getting some damage in space, right?
Yeah.
And then pushing the race to your your side.
Okay. I got the initiative. I'm gonna play Yaddle.
I'll play Starfighter.
I'm gonna take the initiative.
Yes.
Probably should have mulliganed for 2 1-drops, but
oh, okay. Well, I've never played this deck before.
Yeah,
so.
I mean it's okay. I'm just saying what I would have done. I'm gonna play Ezri.
I'll Vonreg in the Vonreg's tie interceptor and give this +1 attack.
I'll hit you for 2.
Hit you for 3.
I will take the initiative.
Yes.
Oh, man, Han is sick with Anakin, huh? Because you blow up the resources.
That's what villainy stuff are you playing in there?
Just Power of the Dark Side.
Okay,
which is not good in this matchup.
Yeah.
But I have to waylay this Vonreg's interceptor, otherwise you're going to do some disgusting stuff. Frankly, disgusting stuff.
All right, I'll Vonreg in the interceptor.
Okay.
Buff that.
I am going to Yaddle you for 2 and restore 1. And Ezra's got restore 1 now.
All Vonreg into the thingy.
Yep.
He's a +3/+3. Okay.
I'm gonna Ezra you for 3 and restore 1.
I'll take you for 6.
I will take the initiative.
Play Mining Guild tie. And pass.
The pre-deploy buff, yes.
Will it be 3, 4, 5, 6? Because of the pre-deploy buff, right?
Yeah, 2, 3. Yeah. It's 6. It's 6. It's when Vonreg attacks, he gets to buff something else.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's when it has 4 or more, it gets overwhelmed, right?
Yeah.
It has 6. I gotcha. Okay. Okay. These are ready. All right. It's gonna be. It's gonna be that's a Yaddle. Take it for 2, restore 1.
I will play Arm to the Teeth.
Oh. I. Huh. Oh. Well. I guess I attack you for 3 and restore 1.
So I'll attack you for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then I'll buff this thing +2, then +1.
Okay. I'm going to Han.
Arm to the Teeth.
It's these teeth for arms, man.
So this is 6 power, and then I'm gonna attack, and it's got raid 1.
Yeah.
So I'll attack for 7.
Yeah. I'll deploy Han.
Well, I'll attack you with the Mining Guild tie, and I'll pay 2.
Okay.
Draw a card.
Han's gonna attack you for 4. And put the top card in. I have 2 Han triggers to keep track of.
You have the Force as well.
I do, yeah. I don't care about it.
I'm gonna Daring Raid your base.
Ooh. Ooh. I guess I'll die.
I bet this next match was probably like 10 minutes.
The top 8 was like 2 hours.
That's awesome.
The top 8 was 2 because the decks were just like.
I love that.
Yeah, like they were like, you need 75 minutes, and I was like, oh, it's not untimed. 35 minutes later, the top 8 is done.
Yep.
35 minutes after that, the top 4 are done. The final was like 30 minutes. So
that makes sense. Love that.
I guess I have to take the initiative.
All right.
I'll just not use any of my resources. All right, we're gonna blow up Can. And we're gonna blow up. Actually, it's after I do this, right? I draw, and then resource, and then choose what to blow up. Okay. Yeah. So blow up Can, blow up Power of the Dark Side.
Geladria with Prime, thank you.
All right, I'm gonna Anakin and smoke the Vonreg. Gotta be -3/-3. Die to surprise strike.
There's no surprise strike in here.
Oh.
I can get this other Arm to the Teeth. However,
I'll Yaddle for 2 and restore 1.
I'll punch it
All right, that
for 1 billion.
Yeah. That kills me.
Okay, his deck kind of sweet.
I had a Luke, but none of my units died, so I didn't get to give the -6/-6. I actually think I have to start that turn. I think I have to start that turn with the Han action, so then I can then deploy Han. Because I think the restore 3 from Luke might be enough on the following. I had 2 surprise strikes, so I feel like if Luke was on the table, I might have been able to close the game out on the next turn. Maybe.
You like attacked with Luke and then played Anakin, maybe
something like that. Kill whatever something along those lines. Time of top 8s because you can't close the game out in 7 minutes in this meta. Well,
what happens if they do draw there though? Or do you? I guess one of the games would be.
Thank you for that prime. So
one of the games would be a draw, and then you just go to whoever won. One of the other games.
Yeah.
Unless it was game 3, then what do you do?
I mean, you get a full round. Like when time is called, you get you play one extra round after that. I think you finish that round and play another one. I might be wrong. I don't think it's cards down. They changed some of that stuff because they changed the way draws work. So
okay,
what force using cards is Itinerant Warrior and Chirrut.
Okay, yep.
And which is not good in this matchup. And Shatterpoint, which is good in this matchup, but it's okay in this matchup. It doesn't kill the whatever Vonreg's on. There are time tiebreakers. I think this Vonreg deck has a niche because nobody plays Takedown right now, and a lot of the things that Vonreg gets deployed on could be killed by Takedown because he's +3/+3, right?
Right. It's not even. It's not putting much.
+3/+4. Yeah, he's +3/+3.
It puts his ship out of range of the.
Daughter is great. But... Yeah, I can see Daughter being good. It's not in this. But it would be really good. I played against one Daughter yesterday. The Anakin deck was playing it, and I don't hate that.
I do like how pilot leaders have kind of become an archetype of their own to watch out for.
Yeah, they're very similar.
Mm-hmm.
They function very similar. Everybody's ready for Vader, right? So okay, maybe like this. Okay. I have the initiative. I am going to Han, and I will put this down.
Kylo's.
I'll play an Ezri.
I'll take initiative.
Draw. And resource, and then kill Kanan.
Oh, where am I about this 1 damage? I guess I just attack for 3.
Worried about what damage?
Like
the Vonreg.
Vonreg, yeah.
All right, attack you for 3. Get the force.
Play 7th Fleet.
Falcon.
Take initiative.
We'll take out the silencer. 3. There is a 3. And pass. I think the Falcon goes back to hand here.
Oh, Vonreg and a shuttle. And buff.
You have to play so goofy against this deck, otherwise you just lose, I think. I think it's waylay the 7th Fleet there.
I'll hop into the shuttle.
I am going to hit you for 3.
Take initiative.
I will pass. had Power of the Dark Side here. It'd be so sick. I kind of like this Han blue deck. I kind of like this quite a bit. Now, I think this is not. I think this is like there's some wacky stuff going on in this matchup. It's just because I think this Vonreg deck asks your opponent very specific questions. Are you playing Bamboozle? Are you prepared for Vonreg's deploy? Can you deal with slightly sticky space units?
Thank you for 6.
Okay. I will. Let's see. How do we do this? I'm going to play an Itinerant Warrior. I'll use the Force and gain 3.
Play Forge Starfighter.
Ezra's going to attack you for 3, and I'm going to get the Force.
Play 7th Fleet.
I'm going to use Han and play something.
Ready.
Yeah.
Crack shot.
I will deploy Han.
Take initiative.
Han's going to attack you for 4. I am going to play the Falcon. The Falcon is going to attack you for 3. For the Anakin activation, I wonder if No Good to Me Dead might be a better bet. That's not a bad sideboard. I like where your head's at on that. It's not a bad sideboard. Especially if there's going to be pilot leaders, right? No Good to Me Dead is like a soft bamboozle. Okay, so we'll draw, resource, and then I gotta blow up 2. I'll blow up Secretive Sage, and I'll blow up a Qui-Gon. And I'll pay for the Falcon using one of these things that I've blown up. I guess technically it's untap, pay for the Falcon.
Yep.
Start of the action phase, lose the stuff. If I play this deck at a PQ, I gotta get that. I gotta get that under wraps.
Vader's getting in 7th Fleet Defender.
That shit's wild, dude.
That shit is wild. It's straight up crazy.
Shit is crazy, dude. A race to the finish here. What do I present? I present 16. I present 14 damage, which is lethal. Let's start with a gun on who hits you for 6. So that goes down, and then Han.
Arm to the teeth.
Let's hit you with the Falcon.
I'm gonna punch it.
For 1,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, and then I'll buff Vader +2 and then +1.
Okay. I'm gonna ask Justin how it feels when
I still lose, but
when your opponent has the second gun. Ha! Bang!
I lost without the gun. This is only stands for 9, which is not enough, right?
Yeah, it gets me to 25. It's just close.
Yeah,
it's close.
Good old straight up race.
Yep. It's quite a bit of games that are that way currently. I like both of these decks. This Vonreg deck, I would not want to pilot into a field full of Quinlans.
You live by the gun, you die by the gun. It's understood.
The Vonreg deck is optimized to duck the Quinlan and Cad turn 1s, though.
Because you're playing 1-drops.
You're playing 1-drops, and a lot of 3-drops. There's a Boshek in that deck, right?
Yeah.
The Vonreg deck is pretty sweet. It's a sick brew for sure. I think I was the only MF in that room playing without a showcase. I'll tell you that much. I show up with the starter deck Boba. I'm not even using like the hyperspace one from the pre-release or whatever. I didn't have any foils in my deck because I didn't want my deck to be considered marked. Yeah. I didn't want it to be marked in any kind of way. Like if you're playing with foils, you basically have to double sleeve. I played against one dude who had maybe his shit was triple sleeved. I don't know, because it was like he had the sleeves from the Galactic Championship, and then he had outer sleeves on him. So that way the outer sleeves get scuffed and not the cool sleeves with the art on them.
The deck was probably thick AF.
Yeah, I was like,
chunk. Play Kyla.
I am going to Han.
I'll take initiative.
I'm deciding what I'm haunting here. This is so weird. I'm gonna Uter. I'll discard a Deepa.
I'm gonna Boshek onto the tie.
Yeah. Oh, I think it was game 3. Crispy Boshek'd, flipped Kylo's tie and the shuttle, and was like whiffed. But
Kylo's
I believe
does not or does work.
So if this unit is discarded from your hand or deck, so it does work with Boshek, cool. But he had one resource. And it was just one of those like,
yeah.
No. I'm gonna Han. This is why I think I was telling Justin. I think this Han deck loses to like force throws and pillages.
Vonreg and crack shot.
Okay. I'm gonna play Kanan.
Take it for 5.
Take it for 2 and restore 2.
I will take initiative.
Pass. I'm going to discard a Power of the Dark Side.
Well, Vonreg in tie. I'll buff Kylo's.
I'm going to attack you for 4 and make you a mill A card. I will heal 2.
I'm going to hop Vonreg into the V-Wing.
Well, pass.
MF passing. Because he wants the fucking
I want the
HP.
I want the full HP.
I'll attack you for 5, and I'll buff the silencer.
Okay. I'll attack you for 2 and restore 2. Gain 5, so I'm down to 4.
Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yep, I'll take that. I will take the initiative.
Play Vonreg's. Pass.
Oh. I'm gonna Han.
Arm to the teeth.
Onto the Vonreg.
Yeah.
I'm gonna Anakin Vonreg right in his beehole.
Okay.
-6, -6.
Alright.
It kind of makes up for the negative tempo from last turn, right?
Mind Guild.
Attack you for 4, middle card. I'll heal 1.
Attack you for 4.
Attack you for 2, restore 1, 2.
Attack you for 3.
I'll deploy Han.
Attack you for 2.
I'll hit you for 4.
Take initiative.
Pass. Resource. Pitch. Secretive Sage. Power of the Dark Side.
Arm to the teeth.
Yeah, I'm gonna waylay it.
Alright. We can pack this one up. Yeah. I'm also dead.
I have a gun go with all of this.
Yeah. Need outmaneuver, I guess.
Yeah, outmaneuver is important,
Yeah.
I think.
I haven't seen one. Is it only sideboard?
I think you have to. I think that.
Oh, it's only in the sideboard.
I think the real hard call with that Vonreg deck is when you swing or when you go for maximum damage, right?
Yeah. All right. Match time. 3.
17. I think the Han1 deck ends up giving Vonreg the initiative for like several turns.
You fight
and
a
then
late game when
and then it matters.
The damage push happens. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it matters a whole lot. If Vonreg's in a ship or Han needs to be in the ground, then they all like every single action counts at that point.
I think there's an interesting thing you could do with a matchup in this game that's probably relatively unique to Star Wars Unlimited, where you can make a decision tree for basically every single turn in a matchup.
Yeah.
Based on what you have and what your opponent has, and the damage on base and all kinds of other factors.
I think that's why the reps are so important for
exactly.
a lot of people. Like you need to you got to play the matchup that many times. Ooh, I guess you just gotta throw that away. I'm gonna Han Solo.
Unmasking the conspiracy.
Don't take my drop.
That's right.
I just don't take it. I'll pass.
I'll play a Forged Starfighter.
I'll waylay it. See if I care.
I'll take initiative.
I'll pass. I guess draw. Resource. Discard. Power of the Dark Side. I said don't take my drop. And then you did.
I did it.
I wonder if I was better off waylaying whatever you play this turn.
Mayhaps.
I don't know.
I'm gonna play Vonregs.
Yeah, I was probably better off waylaying that. I'm gonna Han.
Take initiative.
I'm gonna play Itinerant Warrior. Draw.
On to
Resource.
takes down
Pitch.
Ray Data Vault. Okay.
Oh, nice.
17.
We were talking about
That's
Raid
cool.
Data Vault. How was a deck that kind of like disappeared because it had like a very specific niche.
Vonreg and the Starfighter.
I'm gonna play Ezra.
And buff that. I will hop in here.
I'll attack you for 4. I think I've lost this game.
Thank you for 7, 8.
Yeah. I'll take initiative.
Play Starfighter, play TIE Silencer. Pass.
I'm gonna attack you with Ezra. So I take 3. He completes the attack. Oh, interesting. I'm gonna waylay the Silencer.
Thank you for 7. I'll buff this Starfighter.
Yeah. Hit you for 4.
Hit you for 3.
Do I have to deploy Han here? I think I have to take initiative.
Hit you for 2. Play Disabling Fang Fighter. I'll blow up that shield. Not that that matters. And I'll play Republic Wild. Yes.
I'm gonna play Chariot into the space.
Nope. Illegal.
We'll move on.
Illegal maneuver.
We need the reverse of eject. We need out the airlock, where you get to move somebody from the ground arena into the space arena.
All right, so I think I definitely put in outmaneuvers. I probably put in swoop down. I think that gives me an answer to like when you swoop the board up. P-38s and Ruthless Raiders, I don't think they're... That probably is more for the space matchups when you're like cleaning up stuff that's trying to trade into you. I'm assuming. I don't really know. What do I take out? Unmasking was pretty good that game.
So I think he was aggressively mulliganing for it.
Mm.
A lot of games, I think, because he was playing near me throughout the day. A lot of games, I'd hear him say like unmasking the conspiracy, like action 1, unmask the conspiracy, because you just want stuff out of the way. I am sideboarding in Tantive 4s.
I think shuttles are not good in this matchup.
I think these come out. You think shuttles are not good?
I don't think so.
They have 4 toughness, so they don't get one shot by.
I feel like
Anakin.
they're I'm paying 4 for something.
Yeah, but
And it's
they
not
also
like
don't get
3
one.
things?
They don't get one shot by Anakin, so
That's true.
I think that might be a slight miscalculation. I mean, I'll let you rock it. You have reps of the deck. I do not.
I don't know anything.
But I think the shuttle does not leave the deck ever. Like
Doesn't ever leave the deck.
I don't think you would ever sideboard out
Maybe
the shuttle.
Fang Fighters.
Fang Fighters are probably fine to get rid of. But you also don't want to get rid of too many units, right? Like you don't want to you don't want to get rid of the stuff that you need to. Yeah. Don't tempt me.
We got more decks too to play the rest of this week too. It's just crazy. There's still decks that we want to check out that have been placing top 8s and PQs.
I would break the meta down into known entities, proven entities. Your Quinlan Tarkin towns.
There's like
Boba.
There's like 12 proven entities too.
Yeah. I feel like I need to make this the grand spreadsheet of matchups or something like that. Like matchups you want versus matchups you don't want.
There's the OPE event. That was today, right?
It's happening now currently, I believe, or maybe that was what just wrapped up. Yeah, it was a PQ. It's not like one of their big tournaments or whatever, but
that's got some data in there. Oh, well, look at this hand. It does not.
It doesn't do anything.
It is not playable. It's nothing.
It doesn't do anything. I'm gonna mulligan this because if you unmasking and you get rid of my 1/3 drop, I lose the game. I think the hand was relatively keepable. Oh, I'm sorry. Ignore that, Eddie.
I don't know what it would take for me to play a Han1 blue deck, or Han1 at all, into this meta. So, it's certainly like
I like this deck. I like this deck. I think Quinlan probably doesn't feel like a great matchup, but maybe you just like turn 1, play a 3-drop, and the Quinlan deck scratches its head.
Like you play Ezra and I can't.
Yeah. Because I think this deck fights really well on the ground. And then I think its answer to force throw is just don't have a hand, have no cards in hand. And that's certainly something. Yeah. Okay. Nathan play Boba. Yes, that's correct. What's your take? Every time I played Ghost deck, I've always felt leaving. Yeah, that's fine. I guess I don't understand the Ghost deck part of that comment.
But you can hear his entire explanation of his experience at the tournament.
I had a lengthy stream. Yeah, I had a lengthy thing at the beginning of the stream. So it's all on YouTube. So that deck it's fine. So I liked the deck quite a bit. So I got the initiative. I'm gonna play Yaddle.
Money Guild tie.
I will take the initiative.
All unmasking.
I have Itinerant Warrior, Luke Skywalker, and L3.
I guess I'll get the Warrior. I probably will see that Luke, but we'll see how that goes. Yes.
Yeah, I think the more like the matchups that I had like a ton of experience in, especially like the Hero Red package, like against the Anakin player. Somebody was trying to tell me that like the Boba Data Vault matchup was bad into the Hero Red stuff. And I was like, okay, like I can see that with Anakin because I got like 15 damage on their base. Anakin's just like trucking me. But then I played it and like my opponent deployed Anakin and I mauled it right away, right? And so I was like, well, maybe it's not that bad. And like I played against 2 Poes yesterday and I won handily each time my opponent played a Poe. So I don't know. It's tough to say. I think that matchup is actually good if you're like prepared for it. I was packing 3 reinforcement walkers for the blue-red hero matchups.
Gun on Yaddle. I'm gonna check. Draw those.
I'll take initiative.
I'll Vonreg in a Starfighter, and I'll attack you for 3.
Okay.
Yes.
Yaddle for 4, restore 1.
Vonreg in a Y-Wing. Buff the Starfighter.
Play Nezra.
Vonreg into the Starfighter.
I'll take initiative.
Play Vonreg's type. Attack you for 3, 4, 5, 6. Buff. Attack you for 3. And pass.
I'm gonna Yaddle hit you for 4, restore 1. Actually, wonder if I'm supposed to start with Nezra. Because if Bamboozle's here, I think I win the game.
Yeah, probably. Probably. I'll fight with Vonreg's ship, so 3, 4, 5 damage, and I'll buff the Vonregs.
Yeah, I did. You missed the game where I killed him with 2 hotshots. All right, I'll attack you with Ezra for 3. I'm going to discard Anakin. Ezra actually combos with Anakin as well, for the record, because he's throwing stuff in your discard pile.
I'm gonna arm to the teeth.
I'm gonna Han.
I'll attack you 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I'll buff the Mining Guild.
I'm gonna deploy Han.
Attack you for 4.
I'll attack you with Han.
Kill you.
I die. I can play this Tantive. I should have started with this. I should have this was if I activate Han, deploy Han, you outmaneuver, I lose.
Oh yeah.
So I could get this into play, and I think you have to like fight through this. Probably takes you 2 attacks. Okay, let's see. All right. Okay. So we had to get this is 9 to 11 15 18 20 23. I had to get 23 cards deep before I saw the first Bamboozle.
Not ideal.
So
not ideal.
yeah, I did
probably
mulligan.
also, if I was more experienced with the deck, I'd probably be playing way more scared of Bamboozle. Just
yeah, well, you unmasked turn 1, which I think is correct.
Yeah.
So you unmasked turn 1, and I think you're looking for the bamboozle, right? Because that's when they've got 4 cards. That's when they're most likely to
that
have
turn
it, so.
also had Bazine instead of Arm to the Teeth, so like I feel like Bazine's a safer play into that situation, because that could have just ripped whatever you're planning to Han out.
So I would want Ahsoka in this deck, for the record.
Yeah.
I would like make some small changes to this deck.
Ahsoka would be really good.
Yeah, I think Ahsoka is like crazy.
People are also way more unit heavy now, because she's like very often getting value.
Yeah. And Ahsoka is really good. You deploy Vonreg, I Ahsoka you. Yeah. You're like, I guess I'll discard this.
I have like a
Republic. Yeah, I guess I'll discard this Republic thing. Is like tap it, and then it gives you so much time to get an answer for it.
Yeah.
So I would play Ahsoka in this Han deck. I like this Han deck. I think this is something to toy with. I think you have to solve the card problem, the blue-red hero matchup.
The losing to the force throw problem.
I'd want to. Now the deck does play tech, so I think if you're playing, it plays 3 main deck techs.
Wow!
So
holy shit!
I might cut that down to 2, but I like it quite a bit because I think you're just like you get to some part of the game and you just start you're just playing from your resource row, and so you probably have like a really good game against control stuff. It has like a 1 of Rivals Fall, which I guess I could have sideboarded in just to smoke Vonreg as like an extra thing, but Deepa's in the sideboard. Like the bamboozles make sense, and the Tanta 4 is like okay. It's not bad, but it's just like
the answer you have.
It's
there.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's better than Qui-Gon, right? Because the deck plays Qui-Gon. I think I would eliminate Qui-Gon entirely. I know people are like. I know he says legendary on him. I know he says legendary. I know people like Liam Neeson. I'm asking you to evaluate this card on its merits in the current state of the game, and I don't think it does what you want it to do. Now post rotation, maybe we'll see. Right now, I don't think this Qui-Gon does what you want it to do. So. I would rather this be Redemption. I would rather this be Obi-Wan's Aether Sprite. Obi-Wan's Aether Sprite is actually probably sick in this deck because you can get it out turn 4. Like if you're worried, like Obi-Wan's Aether Sprite is probably better than Tana 4. Like if you're worried about the Vader matchup, because you are annihilating stuff
you're
in
just
space.
blasting all the ships.
You're annihilating stuff in space with it. So he does blast 7 times. Yes, I understand. I understand this. I get it. I understand that he kills people. He's really good. Like in specific situations. The games I played yesterday, 7-drop units that were not Maul did not matter, and 8-drop units. Redemption the card, the concept. Redemption the card game. I wish this was a card from Redemption the card game. I wish this was the Whore of Babylon or whatever. There's some stuff I would change around. I like Itinerant Warrior. It probably stays. Falcon definitely stays. Kanan probably goes. He's got synergy with Ezra, but I don't think there's enough synergy. I think I missed. Did I have 2 Ezras out in one game? I think I probably missed an Ezra trigger on the other Ezra. Because Ezra gives experience.
He buffs specters.
He buffs specters. Yeah, specters and creatures.
That game was a pre-game, I think.
Okay. But
you beat that game because you gained
the double
life because of Kanan. And the guns.
Kanan probably goes. Probably. I'm just saying probably. Maybe he's good enough. Maybe he's not. I don't know. I like the life gain quite a bit. And the milling is not irrelevant.
He's a good 4-drop too to put in on turn 2.
The milling's not irrelevant. If you play against... So, I don't know if people have played against the Palpatine Yellow deck. But Palpatine Yellow likes to ramp and then play a legacy run and then likes to annihilate your board by sacking the legacy run. And you cannot... there are like if you're not like actually aggressive enough against the Palpatine deck, then and you just like answer and you're just answering back and forth, the Palpatine deck just mills itself because it's drawn so many cards during the course of the game. Okay, there you go. That's my PQ experience at the beginning of the stream. So, and still some sweet decks. I actually think Obi-Wan, the Twilight leader, is actually not in a terrible spot. Because I was like, man, if I was playing Obi-Wan all day, I think I would have wrecked everybody. I could just, they would give me initiative. I played Battlefield Marine, and they're like, play it, ping it, and I'm like, I will heal it, right? And so, or you play like a Gungi, and then you put like a Jedi lightsaber on Gungi, because that instead of Qui-Gon killing leaders, Jedi lightsaber on Gungi kills 7 health leaders. So attachment hate, I was a little bit more scared of attachment hate than was running around. There were like a handful of main deck Fang Fighters and stuff like that, but and yeah, there were some bamboozles here and there. But if your game plan with like a blue-green deck is get to the late game and you play a 2-drop and then you lightsaber it, and then they have to like they either answer the lightsaber on the spot, or they like have to like pitch a card to like a bamboozle or something, then you're probably fine.
Yeah. Especially if it's bamboozled, you're trading 2 cards for just a lightsaber.
They're trading 2 cards to tap your 2-drop and put the lightsaber back in your hand. It's not the leader thing, right? That was the thing about like craving power. Like craving power would be a good answer for bamboozle. I think your opponent's playing bamboozle, because you can't bamboozle craving power. It just goes back to the hand and they get to kill something else, right? So you could, in theory, in the Boba deck, like play a Dornian on 5. Next turn, craving power it to smoke something. I think that might be like a little bit better in the Quinlan matchup. That you craving power and smoke something. Then you deploy Boba Fett in there. If they bamboozle it, yeah, your Boba Fett dies, but your craving power goes back to your hand. You've got another removal. So anyway, I lots of thoughts on the format. I could talk an hour, like circular logic, card choices, play choices for hours at this point. So
we'll
save that for tomorrow.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching.
Goodbye.
See you next time. Goodbye.